Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever Spring Town Hall as Harvard Federal Credit Union. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for being with us as we roll out this new brand spanking new format for our webinar. Please let us know down in the Q&A section how you like this and how you want us to possibly change it. So as we begin, let's first go over some of the housekeeping tips. Some things will stay the same and some things will change. Some things that will stay the same is the format. Today we'll be answering questions from you, our members. Also, we are still reducing background noise. You are muted. So please, if you are having lunch or joining us from wherever you are in the car, maybe, please, no worries about that. And if you have any questions during this town hall, please feel free to ask them. Use the Q&A feature. We have our esteemed Tom Montilli, our Chief Experience Officer, who will be in the Q&A looking at those questions. If you ask a good one, we will answer it live. And this presentation will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, not at our old YouTube link, our new one at Harvard FCU. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to Craig Leonard, our president and CEO of Harvard Federal Credit Union. Craig.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thanks for joining for this on what is a beautiful day here in Cambridge now. It was a little cloudy this morning, but turning out to be a nice day. So thanks for spending the next 30 minutes with us under our new name. And certainly a lot of the questions that we received from all of you had a lot of questions around, our new name. What does that mean? We've changed our charter, so we'll have questions about that. So happy to engage with all of you today. So the first thing is just a quick update on our financials, just to give you a sense of how things are going through the first now 5 months of the year. Our balance sheet has stayed relatively flat during that time period. So if you compare our May financials to that of December's, we haven't really grown a whole lot. What we've been seeing really on the lending side is really it's, with the increase in interest rates within the marketplace that now has taken place over the last 1.5 to 2 years now. We've seen that really impact the mortgage business. We've seen certainly lower volumes in refinance activity for sure. No one's refinancing their primary homes anymore. But the purchase market continues to be tough because inventory remains a challenge for a lot of would-be buyers out there. So overall, we're seeing kind of a lower activity within our mortgage business. That being said, we're still seeing a large rate of borrowers take equity out of their homes and use that equity to do those, those repairs around the house, put in that pool, go on vacation, fund college, whatever. So we're seeing an increase in our home equity lines of credit products in particular. On the funding side or the deposit side, we're still seeing a lot of our members move funds from savings accounts and checking accounts, trying to get higher rates of returns into certificates in particular. But also, and we'll talk about it later, I think a lot of the members don't realize that we have 2 premium savings type of vehicles that they can take advantage of as well within our premium reward savings product, as well as a rewards checking product that have above average rates of returns. So we are starting to see more of our membership take advantage of those as well. The last thing I'll note too, and this is not specific to our credit union per se, although we're seeing a little bit of an uptick, but certainly within the entire banking industry, is an uptick in delinquencies. And so, again, we're not seeing nearly the uptick that others are seeing, but we are seeing some pressure felt by a number of our members. So if you fall into that category, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we're here to help. So if you are having any challenges, making any loan payments, reach out to us. We're here to help. We'll come up with solutions to hopefully get you back on your feet again. What's one thing that we really pride ourselves on is helping our members be successful. So reach out to us if you are in that situation.
Thank you, Craig. Also, speaking of reaching out, if you have need help, we do offer GreenPath as a resource for our membership. Jen, I know we were planning on this, but if you could please put that link in the chat. GreenPath is a great free financial resource that we offer to all of our membership in case there's any type of financial and or housing hardships that they're facing. All right, next up, let's talk about the next question. Can you talk about the name change, Craig? That's the question of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope all of you that are tuning in today love our new name. We're really excited about it, the Harvard Federal Credit Union. Um, you know, many of you may not be aware that I've been in this position now for the last 4 years, but prior to, I was the chief financial officer. So I've been with this organization for 14 years. And during that time period, we've talked many times about altering our name. And one of the reasons for that is that our name today, it didn't necessarily represent the full membership of the credit union. So we have grown since the origins of the credit union back in 1939, when it started specifically to help the employees of Harvard. Over that time, as the credit union grew and expanded some of its eligibility components, now we serve a larger audience that includes faculty, alumni, students, members of the teaching hospitals that Harvard is affiliated, Leslie University. So it's a broader group than what we originated with. And we found challenges with our old name in that many of the eligible members within our Harvard community didn't even know that they could participate. And we heard that a lot from students. Students would come to us and say, wow, I never knew I could join because I thought I had to be an employee. We heard it from alumni. Alumni were saying, and this was recently, before we changed our name, I had heard this from a conversation. Alumni were talking amongst themselves and said, wow, I didn't know that I could be part of that credit union. And so there was this real misunderstanding of who and who could not belong. And so this new name just changes it so it's a better reflection of who we actually serve.
Thank you, Craig. I feel like this new name change will allow us to market a bit better too, so that way we can tap into those markets that were untapped before.
Absolutely.
All right. What plans does HUECU have that necessitated a change in regulatory oversight from Massachusetts state to federal?
When we looked at this, it's important for our organization to continue to grow. For all financial institutions, growth is an important part of survival and long-term sustainability. And we recognize that here at the organization. And so when we took a step back and looked into the future, how we felt we could grow most effectively for our members, we looked at how we were chartered. And there's two ways that credit unions can be chartered. You can be chartered within your state, which we were in the state of Massachusetts, or you can be a federal charter, which we just transitioned to, which is under the NCUA, which is just the National Credit Union Administration, and they solely regulate credit unions. That's their focus. Massachusetts, under the Division of Banks, not only do they regulate credit unions, they regulate banks, they regulate insurance companies, they regulate payday lenders. So it's a broader umbrella for them. What we had experienced ourselves is that when we had wanted to bring new products to market, as an example, over the last year and a half or so, we've introduced insurance products for all of you. We've introduced investment services. We've introduced digital estates and wills. These are non-traditional kind of banking products. And when we went through that process, it was cumbersome, it was challenging, it was inefficient. And so it resulted in us taking a step back and saying, as we look in the future and we look at how financial services continues to evolve quickly, what charter is going to help us remain competitive and effective for all of you? Massachusetts credit unions, actually, if you're not aware of this, and most of you probably aren't, credit unions originated in this part of the country. They originated, the first one is actually in New Hampshire, and then they moved to the West Coast. And as a result of that, places like New Hampshire, places like Massachusetts have some of the oldest laws relating to credit unions on their books. And the Massachusetts state legislation isn't necessarily it's not the top priority of Massachusetts legislators to create new rules or update rules for credit unions. It's just not where their focus is. The NCUA, the federal government, is different. And so moving in that direction provides more flexibility. And that's the term we looked at more than anything else, is flexibility of what it will allow us to do in the future. And that was one of the main reasons, if not the sole reason, for moving to a federal charter, is the flexibility that that charter provides over the Massachusetts charter.
Thank you, Craig. And earlier you mentioned that we were introducing some new products to market, such as insurance services and GenTrio. I just wanted to plug that we do have an upcoming webinar with GenTrio. It'll be focused on estate planning for LGBTQIA individuals. And Jen will be putting a link in the chat. So if you have any curiosity about that or any of our new services, please see the chat. Thank you. And next up. What major changes will we see in terms of competitive services for current members after the transition to a federal credit union?
Yeah, we don't see anything changing dramatically. I will say that the newest service that we're actively working on now is the introduction of business banking services, which we didn't offer previously. Now, we could have done that under a Massachusetts state charter, although we think we can be more effective doing it under a federal credit union. So the federal credit union provides, again, more flexibility. Part of this change for us, and I think where members are going to see this, is not necessarily tomorrow, but it could be as new products within the financial services landscape come to market. We feel that the federal charter allows us to come to market faster, more efficiently than that of working with the Massachusetts under a Massachusetts charter and working with the Massachusetts regulatory body. But I would say over the next few months, what our members will see coming to market more than anything else will be business banking services. Our plan is to introduce something that is dedicated towards their cash management and merchant banking needs initially, followed by their lending needs likely later in 2024.
Thank you, Craig. Also, this next question, I love it so much because it speaks to the good that we're doing here at the credit union. And it's, how will the recent changes affect the banking experience that I have grown to appreciate so much? I love this.
Yeah, I love that. It's a positive question, right? They like the experiences that they're having, and they don't want us to change. And the good news is there's no intention of us changing whatsoever. In fact, we just want to continue to reinforce the positive banking experience that we're delivering today. So there is no change that will happen whatsoever in terms of diminishing that experience. It was really interesting for us as we went through this process. It allowed us to take a step back and really recommit to those principles and those values that are really important to us as an organization. And delivering an exceptional banking experience is right at the top for us. Ensuring that you are happy and that banking experience is pleasant for you is paramount to us.
To drill in a little bit deeper with our next question, how will the focus on customer service change with the expected growth?
You know, I had mentioned earlier that it's important for us to grow the organization. And part of this change with moving to a federal charter does provide us more flexibility. You know, I've used that word flexibility on how we can grow in terms of a membership. And I know there's a question about that later on. But as we continue to grow, we're going to continue to ensure that it doesn't um, diminish whatsoever the customer service that we're providing to our membership. Um, let's be honest, there's a lot of banking options out there for all of you. And so we understand for us to retain and win your business each and every day, we have to be delivering exceptional customer service. And we strive to do that each and every day. And that's talked about throughout the organization. And quite frankly, if you're not getting it, you know, one of the things that I'm not afraid to do on these calls is to give you my personal email. So if you're not getting what you feel you should be getting, email me directly. It's Craig_Leonard@harvard.edu. I want to hear from our members on what we're doing well and what we need to focus on.
Love that, Craig. I love the transparency, and I love how you're available right for our membership, especially during this time of uncertainty in banking and our changes to our charter. I love that transparency. Thank you, Craig. Let's keep going. What advantages will the credit union's new classification offer to current members? Good question.
Yeah, you're going to get tired of me using this word flexibility. So, and growth. So as we continue to grow the organization, it allows us more financial resources to reinvest back into the organization. And that's what we do each and every year. You know, as we continue to grow, those revenues that we earn within the institution are reinvested back into the organization in terms of providing new products, services, technology, um, expansion of branches or ATMs or whatever it is, but it's plowed back into the organization. We can only do that as the organization continues to grow. And that's why this grow factor is so important to us. So as this charter allows us the opportunity to grow into the future, it's going to allow us to reinvest more back into the business and into the communities we serve. You know, in addition to giving back directly to the members, we're also really proud of what we give back to the communities in which we serve and the nonprofits that operate within those communities. As we continue to grow, that will allow us to give back to those organizations as well.
Speaking of growth and giving back to the membership, our next question kind of touches on that. Is the credit union now opening membership to the general public?
Um, no, it the way that our membership has changed allows us more flexibility in terms of of allowing people to come into the organization. Are we going to start putting signs up everywhere saying "Come on in"? That's not our intention. But for those who want to participate in our organization, there's a pathway in which you can do so, which previously was not prohibited. So, or was not permitted rather. So it could be, you know what, you could be talking about the great service that you get from our organization to your next door neighbor. And previously, that next door neighbor may not have met our eligibility criteria, but today they could come in and we could find a way for them to establish a membership with us. So it does provide us more flexibility in allowing more to participate and join our organization. And again, we need that in terms of our ability to grow as an organization. But that being said, I don't see us, you know, um, um, opening up the signs just to say, you know, tell everyone, come on in. So we'll be strategic on how we grow the organization going forward. Before we leave this one, this does allow us in the future to think about our branching strategy differently than what we've done in the past as well. Because of the expanded ability around membership, one of the questions we get regularly on these calls is, I would like you to open more branches. And we've been restricted under our former eligibility criteria in doing so. This will allow us to perhaps think differently about that in the future.
Hmm, I like that. It feels like we're sharing the wealth and ensuring that the people who want to become members have a clear path to membership. I love that. Next question. Will there be any significant changes for Harvard University loan programs?
No, we are the Harvard Credit Union, and that's paramount. That's right there in our name. It's the Harvard Federal Credit Union, and that's first and foremost who we focus on, who we put all our attention towards. It's is members of the Harvard community, and so we won't be making any alterations to any of the current Harvard University loan programs that we have in place. One of the things um, that's important to us, one of the things that we've done over the years is we've created unique programs for the Harvard community based upon our structure. And just because we've changed our charter, that won't cease. We'll continue to look at programs that we can create that are unique to the Harvard community when it makes sense to do so.
Hmm. Will the website URL change to reflect the new name?
Yeah, it will. It's updated right now. So if you're putting the huecu.org URL, it'll redirect you to harvardfcu.org. If you've bookmarked, thanks for putting that in the chat, Jen. If you've bookmarked online banking, um, that URL, as my understanding, will likely change over the next 30 days. You probably have to update it at that point in time. But the new website URL is up there. It's live, and if you haven't been to our website, check it out. I think you're gonna love the brand. I think our team just knocked it out of the park. They did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, I love the new colors, the new name, the new brand. It's very lively. I love that. Next, when will the interest rates on savings accounts rise? Kind of getting right to it, huh?
Yeah. So the Fed has increased rates significantly over the past couple of years, and we've been competitive in this space, particularly around our CD products. If you look at our rates versus others in the market, we're right there with the rest of the group. I think one thing that, again, that we don't talk enough about is our reward savings and our reward checking accounts, which offer yields far superior to our competitors and some of the best actually in the nation. So, Jen, you might want to drop that in for our reward savings and checking accounts as well. So our rewards savings product offers a yield of 4% on a liquid account. And our reward checking has two different options. It can be a 3% premium interest rate on your balances, or there's also a cashback option which rewards up to 3% as well. So really great products for a liquid account that are offering rates again far superior to any of the competing institutions. And it's important to us when we look at our rates that we're delivering value back to all of you. We know you work hard for your money. You want to earn a nice rate of return on your money. We all do. And so we take that very seriously. And so we try to return the best value back to you in the terms of rates and services.
Okay. Towards the end of our presentation here, next up we have Harvard FCU's upcoming initiatives.
The biggest one that I'll point towards is around, well, this initiative by itself was enormous. We've been working on this, I think, for about 18 months in terms of going through the review of looking at our charter. We've had many meetings with our board. We've had to get approvals from the federal government, from state government, from our members. And then as we were doing that, we went through the name change to make sure everything aligned. This rebranding took a long time, a lot of work. I think, again, it came out spectacular, and I hope that you all love it as much as we do. So that's been a huge initiative, and we're not done with it. You'll continue to see things change probably over the next 30 to 60 days as we continue to change some of our systems to reflect our new brand. So be patient with us, please, in terms of plastics and some other notifications that you may be getting from us. So that's continuing to evolve. And the next thing is really around business banking. Our goal is to start offering this out to our membership, I'm going to say in August of this year, and that'll allow members who have a business or part of a business that they want to participate with us, the opportunity to open up deposit related products, merchant type of products, merchant service type of products. And then again, probably late 2024, and we're working on this right now as well, the lending needs of those businesses. So we're really focusing our attention on that. So those are where we're putting all of our attention towards right now.
Thank you, Craig. We're nearing the end of our presentation. If there's any questions that we would like to answer live, let me check the chat now. So first question comes from, first question comes from Chris. Are we getting new cards?
I've got Tom on mute. Tom, you want to take yourself off mute if you could? And
Sure. Yes, we are getting new branded cards. Those cards will begin being issued in the next month. We're not going to force reissue anybody a new card, but as cards expire, they'll be issued with the new branded cards. But if any member wants to replace their card early when the new cards are available, we'll be putting out a request process for that, so somebody could free of charge replace their card with one of the new branded cards if they want to. It's not going to affect your account number in any way.
Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. And I think this one's a bit of a follow-up to the above one. Will you be changing the checkbooks and credit cards as well?
Yes, and the same is true for checks. Those actually maybe, I think those are available now, but there's no reason for people not to continue to use the checks that they have. You can use those checks indefinitely, and then when your next supply comes up, it'll be with the new brand.
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing's changed in terms of your account number. Nothing's changed in terms of what's called our ABA or our routing number. So there's going to be no issues with your current supply of checks.
Okay. Please keep those live questions coming in. We still have two more minutes left in for half hours up. Thank you so much for those who have submitted questions so far. We love to see them. It looks like I don't see any new questions coming in. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again for joining with our first official Spring Town Hall as Harvard Federal Credit Union. Thank you so much, Craig, for being here. Thank you, Shannon, Tom, and Jen for being in the background, and thank you again for spending a Friday afternoon with us. Hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.